Welcome to the Shortwave Radio Channel, and we're going to talk a little bit about space weather. I know some of you like when I do a little space weather outlook. Maybe I should do one weekly to just talk about what's happening. So we had, of course, a lot of solar activity during the month of May. We had the famous May 10th geomagnetic storm, which was the biggest in more than 20 years, caused by a sunspot which was AR3664. Now, you can't see it yet, but it's here, close by, and it's going to actually rotate into view in the next couple of days. It already sparked an X-class flare, and it's probably even bigger than that because it's on the far side still, so it was probably stronger than that, and that means more activity is coming up. Add to that 3691 here is very active too. So we're going to go back into some interesting conditions on the sun. So this is going to be very, very interesting to follow, as this will increase the chances of solar flares and geomagnetic storming once again. Responding to a question, a lot of people are, of course, new to propagation, and the question was, well, I thought, that solar maximum was great. I have tons of times when I can't hear my favorite station and so on. And the thing is higher solar activity helps the higher frequencies, definitely. It does enhance propagation on some other frequencies that you could listen to. But it has its up and downs because it also increases flare activity and geomagnetic storm activity. So this means that it is something to follow, like looking at this page. I'll put the link to spaceweather.com in the description below. To see what is happening with the sun. The really important numbers when you look at the sun is, first of all, to look at the solar flux. This is the amount of energy that is actually being directed towards us. This is what will tell you how good the ionosphere is ionized. And the other thing that you need to really check out on these numbers are the values that are often the A and K indices. So when you go down, K index of 1 is great, but when it gets above about 3, you start noticing that there's a degradation of some of the signals on shortwave. So you want to have a K index of 1 that's like the best you can have, which means conditions right now are probably quite good. Another thing you can look at is the aurora map. When you see that there's almost nothing like this, also shows that conditions shouldn't be too bad. There's other things that can happen also, and one of them is the polar cap absorption events that I talk from time to time. When there's a solar flare, depending on where it's positioned, it can actually saturate the Earth with protons. And of course, they're all directed towards the poles. And what happens is that propagation at the mid-latitudes might be good, but at the poles, anything that's crossing the North Pole or the South Pole might actually be completely gone. And this happens often. And we don't, often talk about it or even think about it. But when you're listening to a signal from, say, KBS World Radio in South Korea, it's not on a map, you'd think, well, from South Korea through the Pacific into North America. Well, that is actually not the best way to send a signal. What it does is it sends a signal directly to the north and crosses the North Pole towards North America, which is a shorter path, actually. And this is what we hear. But if there's a polar absorption event in the poles, it wipes out that signal. Going through the poles is great when conditions are good, but it also is more risky because they're close to the auroral zone and where the magnetic field of the Earth is. So we're going to take a look at what's happening this week with the sunspot, the return of AR3664. Will we have another round of major solar activity and geomagnetic storm? It's going to be interesting to look at. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.